Welcome to your reading. So we're going to see what messages the divine wants you to receive in this reading. You have landed on this video for a reason. So let's get your messages for you. And as I'm shuffling your cards and getting your cards out, I want to let you know that I have another channel which is to do with love, relationships and matters of the heart. So if you want to see more of my work, I'm going to link the channel in the description box below. Let me get more cards for you. I can see that you have a good thing going that's here. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm also going to get our tarot cards to give us more information about the reading that is on the table for you. So let's just get your tarot cards, divine. What tarot cards do we have for this reading? Perfect. You are getting the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords, I think I've got hiccups. So the Six of Swords is all about looking at your situation, really analyzing your situation and leaving a situation behind where you can see that there is no more growth, there is nothing left there. And as you're exiting that situation, there is help that is at hand. And you go somewhere that is more peaceful, somewhere that is giving you more opportunities. So this reading is about really looking at your situation and seeing what no longer serves you, and then being brave enough to leave. Okay, because the divine wants you to know that, listen, life is too short to wait. If there's a situation here and you're umming and ahhing and you're like, I don't know, shall I stay or shall I go? Well, the divine is saying that if already in your gut instinct, if your intuition is already telling you that it is time, then listen, because life is too short to stay in a situation that you have outgrown, only to find out that this situation changes and you have to leave anyway. So this is that almost like that feeling of the tower moment where you just stay in a situation, you are in pain, but you're like, no, things are going to change, things are going to work themselves out, and then they don't. And you're just like, oh man, if only. So the divine is saying to you that, listen, look at the card of the Six of Swords, right? It is welcoming a new beginning. Because if you pay attention to the picture, you can see that the water here is choppy. So there is a situation that just feels a bit turbulent, right? But as you're exiting that situation, you can see that ahead, the water is calm and peaceful. So again, even though it might be hard to make a choice and a decision to leave a situation behind, where you are going is going to give you that inner peace, that peace of mind. So the divine is saying, keep going, because when you look back, you're going to be thankful for being brave enough to take that leap of faith. So whatever is happening, the divine is saying to you, just be in that moment of understanding that self-love, injecting peace of mind is going to be really important, especially when you're going somewhere new. That journey is just going to be requiring you to really speak gently to yourself, encouraging yourself instead of being harsh about the situation that you have just left behind. So that inner voice, that inner chatter, keep that in check. Because you could find yourself really speaking mean words to yourself. I was stupid for doing that. I was stupid for getting myself in that situation. I was this and that. If you're not speaking words that are uplifting, then this transition is going to be just more painful. So the divine is saying that, we all make mistakes, but being brave enough to rectify those mistakes, that's a beautiful thing, because you learn, you grow from challenges. If life is just plain sailing, that you don't really learn, you don't really grow. In fact, it can even get a little bit boring. So the divine is saying self-care is going to be important on this journey that you're going through. So for some of you, this situation could be to do with a love situation. This situation could just be to do with a compromising situation that you found. A person putting you in a compromising situation, a person not valuing you enough. And so the divine is like, look at the ways that people are treating you. The way that they treat you tells you a lot about what they think about you, how they feel about you, if they value you at all. So our oracle card is coming in to say, a person who values you will never ever put themselves in a position to lose you. It doesn't matter if this is at work. It doesn't matter if this is in a relationship. It doesn't matter if this is in a friendship. If someone truly values you, they'll never put themselves in a compromising situation where they have to ask you to sit down and they have to explain themselves, explain their action, because they understand that once the damage has been done, it's been done. There's no way of erasing things. Yes, you can forgive, but you never truly forget. You always remember that injury that someone caused you. So for some of you, as you're exiting a situation, the divine really wants you to understand that it is important to make sure that you are taking your financial education seriously. Because for some of you, you stayed in situations that no longer served you for way too long. Because of financial restraints, maybe you relied on a spouse to provide for you and you couldn't find a way out of this situation because of that. Going forward, the divine is saying, like, start looking at what you know about cryptocurrencies, what you know about the new system that is coming, right? And there's a lot of money to be made there, but only if you educate yourself. Education in this space is really important because it is so easy to lose yourself. It is so easy to get greedy. It is so easy to just get swept in the hype when you know nothing about this space. So the divine is saying, as you're exiting this situation, start learning about your financial education, about your financial behavior, self-sabotaging behaviors around finances, around money. It is time to turn a new chapter so that you will never, ever, ever have to rely on anyone else, especially where your money is concerned. So the divine is asking you to start looking for signs. Some of you asked for signs from the divine to tell you that you are on the right path. So the divine is saying, look for the signs. You might see butterflies, you might see a cat who just is acting a little bit peculiar, and that is the sign from the divine. Whatever you're asking for, the divine will send you that sign. And if you haven't asked for a sign yet, make sure that you ask for a sign, because the universe enjoys playing with you. The universe enjoys delivering delicious magical moments to give you that thumbs up to say that you are on the right path. So the divine is saying, just ask for the signs. If you haven't already done so, look for those signs, because these are the prompts to say, hey, you're doing a good job. All right. So the divine is saying, this transition that you're going to be going through, it is going to be important to really look after yourself spiritually. So some of you are just like, I'm closed. I'm closed for business. I have been loving everyone else and always putting myself last. I have been neglecting myself, my body, my mental health, my spiritual body, and now it is time for me to really stop, to start looking at myself and to see where I want these changes to be happening. So some of you could be starting a meditation ritual in the morning. Some of you are starting whatever it is that you love to do, going for a walk, going out to be in nature, just grounding yourself, whatever you love. I see that some of you are going to be really connecting with that, because when you do, this is what helps transitions that are difficult. It helps them make them a lot easier. All right. So the divine is saying to you again, I spoke to you about that little voice in your head that is going on in your mind that could be saying that, oh, you were so stupid for making these mistakes. Why do you always make mistakes? That voice that tears you down time and time again. Keep that in check, because your thoughts create your reality. And if you're thinking you're stupid for making mistakes, guess what happens? You start creating situations that validate whatever it is that you're thinking, mistakes, and so that you can call yourself stupid, like, oh, see, I told you you're always making mistakes. But you're not realizing that your thoughts are creating your reality. As you can see with our person, they're imagining themselves falling off that ladder. Well, guess what's going to happen when they start climbing that ladder? They're going to be fearful, they're not going to be focusing because they're afraid, and they are most likely going to fall. So the divine is saying again, really look at your thoughts and make sure that your thoughts, as much as possible, they are uplifting. That inner chatter is your own cheerleader. You are doing great. Yes, you made mistakes, but everyone makes mistakes. Mistakes are a good thing because you learn, you grow. There has never been a baby in this world who has learned to walk without falling down first. You fall, you get up. You fall, you get up. And then suddenly you are running. And so that's how you learn. Mistakes are all right. So stop beating yourself up and start being your own cheerleader. And so for some of you are like, this situation that I'm leaving behind, honestly, it really broke my heart. And I cried because I had reached my limits. The divine is like, I understand. But sometimes you have to reach your limit to push yourself to exit a situation. Because before you reach that limit, guess what you were doing? You were making excuses. You were staying in uncomfortable situations because they were not painful enough. So sometimes the pain has to increase. Sometimes the pain has to get unbearable until you actually get up, get in the boat, and leave that situation. So yes, it is okay to cry. Crying is just a way of letting your soul be cleansed by that water from your eyes. Crying is okay. So the divine understands that some of you have truly reached your limits and you are just in that moment where like, oh man, but I have to remain strong. I have to be my own cheerleader. And yes, sometimes I break, but I get up and remember that I have to keep going. What other choice do I have? I'm my own cheerleader. I have to keep showing up because I have children, I have responsibilities, I have bills to pay. I cannot just cry and cry. So whatever is happening, the divine is inviting you right now to be in that energy of doing the shadow work. The shadow work is important because it allows you to see things that you never really look at. Again, we spoke about staying in situations that you've outgrown, situations that are encouraging you to betray yourself. Again, the divine is saying, once you've exited this situation, it is now time to do the healing work. To do the healing work, you have to do the shadow work. To do the shadow work, you have to go within and see all the reasons why perhaps life keeps repeating itself time and time again. The same mistakes, the same scenarios, the same narcissist, the same people who betray you time and time again. Why does this keep happening? It's so frustrating. And then you have to stop to look. And finally you see, I understand. And you start doing the shadow work. You start healing. You start just changing things up. It is a gradual process, but a process that's leading, remember, to that peaceful time that is ahead of you. So whatever is happening, the divine is saying the most important thing to do is to really start moving forward, leaving anything behind that doesn't serve you, and make sure that you are taking your financial education seriously. Because if you can create financial stability for yourself, this is the secret key that allows you to have freedom, allows you not to rely on people who might just use you because they know you've got no other choices. People who are there to use and abuse because they know that you can't leave. So the divine is saying, never again. As you're going forward, it is time to wake up. This is the reading that I have for you. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll see you soon. It's a